Welcome back to Binary Wonder. Today we'll look at gameplay strategies for Civilization 1. Hey guys, Dan at binarywonder.com coming back to you to talk about Civilization 1, specifically game strategies for Civilization that I've used over the years. And this game has probably been out for 28 years now. I think it came out in 1991. I could be wrong. It's now 2019, so 28 years. And I've probably been playing this game since, wow, probably 25 years. That sounds like a long time. And have thousands of hours into this game for sure. And what I typically will do is I'll use the same strategy over and over. So what I'll do is sort of show you some of my Civilization game strategies. And the first, the really, probably the most important thing about this strategy is that it starts with the world that you're in. And, you know, I am kind of probably a snob when it comes to the starting conditions of the world, because I'm really looking for sort of an isolationist world and position. So what I'll do is, so this is the main screen. I'll show you how I do it. I always do customize world. And I will start with normal or small. Maybe I'll do small just for this. And I almost never do large worlds. There's a lot to it, and I sort of like a compact environment that I can sort of control with sort of a small number of very well developed cities. Temperate's fine, normal's fine, and I usually do 4 billion years. So we'll let it go through this. Maybe I'll see if I can fast forward. So it's building the world, just sort of showing you the transformation. It's kind of cool. I haven't watched this in a few years, so even though I can't progress past it, it's good to see. So here we are at the difficulty level. It's really up to you. We'll do chieftain. The number of civilizations is really important, and because, like I said, I'm kind of a snob about the starting conditions. So what I want to look for is I want to make sure that I'm essentially looking for islands, and you know, I don't want that many civilizations. Too few civilizations is kind of boring. Too many, you know, people are crowding for resources. So let's just choose 4. I'll do Roman. So we'll get started. And what I'll do is I'll show you sort of the design pattern that I use as I get started. So first thing you want to do is seek out the ocean. And you know, I'm presuming the other AI players are immediately going to settle wherever they are, and which is fine. And this is actually, come to look at it, it seems like it's a good spot. I mean, I'm at a river. There's probably a lake to the right, and it could be an outlet to the ocean. I don't know, but it could just be a lake. But I have a feeling that lower left-hand corner is the ocean. It may not be, but I like to be face on to the ocean. So let's just go right. So yes, I have a good sense that this is the ocean, so I'm not going to move anymore. I'm just going to settle. create my city, Rome. And first thing you want to do is you have to be able to defend yourself. Before you think about expansion, before you think about sort of cultivating this area, you want to obviously be able to defend against threats. So we'll leave them as this, push space, and we will choose masonry. All right, so we've already built this guy. He's a militia, so we're going to change it to settlers. So I'm going to push F to fortify him. And this is kind of what I'll do, is I will found a city, build a militia. Once he's built, fortify him in the city, and then build another settler. And then from this point until the local region's saturated, this city will make settlers, and so will the next city that's founded. So you'll see that it's this pattern repeated. So we'll just, and your city I don't believe can build a settler until they have at least size 2. Can I buy? Yes, I can buy. So he builds the settler has been built in Rome, and I'm going to keep him building another settler. So with this settler, I'm going to explore, and I'll just show you the first 1,000 years or so, maybe a little bit longer. Go to ironworking. So I want to get kind of far away from my city, but not too far. So I kind of like this spot right here. He's along the ocean, but kind of far enough away. So I'll found Caesarea. Same one, do the militia. And remember, Rome is still building towards a settler. So we'll keep going. At 3000 BC, it's going to ask me for the copy protection. And I have the book because I own the game, but we'll try it from memory too. So Rome has built another settler, and I'm going to go the opposite way. So our second city has this militia, so it will now go to settler, and we will fortify the militia. So let's explore a little bit with this guy. I kind of like it right here. So yes, we're using this design pattern, we're sort of expanding, but I have not yet run into another civilization, and I don't quite know if this is a continent, a large island, something much bigger. Because at the end of the day, what I really want is I want to pursue an isolationist sort of policy. I want to develop my science, develop my cities, develop my armies, sort of in secret, and build them up. And even once they're very well developed, what I will do is I will build a blockade around my island, and if there's others that come close, then I sort of destroy them in the water before they can come onto my continent or island. So you're seeing the design pattern here. So Rome is getting pretty saturated, this sort of local region, and then you can see how these other cities, it sort of grows exponentially. So one city, Rome, has now founded all of these cities, and then these cities in turn will sort of continue out that expansionist wave. So we have another guy here. So this is the quiz, the copy protection quiz, and I have the book, but let's see if we can figure this out because it's kind of fun. So a usurper claims that you are not the rightful king. To prove you are of royal birth, you must answer this question. Which civilization advances are required to learn the advance pictured below? So this is explosives. So we're looking for the prerequisites for explosives. So explosives are not going to be in the prerequisite because that's what's pictured. So I'm going to say gunpowder and chemistry. Yes, so it won. So essentially what would happen, this is the game's copy protection. So you can look this up in the book that came with the game, but after playing it for almost 25 years, I think I have it pretty well memorized, and it saves. Now we're at 3000 BC, and you can see at this point, honestly, I'd probably quit the game because I found this, I found another civilization. He's on this continent, which sort of makes it difficult for me to be isolated. But that's the general idea, where you sort of found a city, build a militia, fortify them, build a settler, and then continue on into another city, and then that will spawn other cities. And probably the biggest thing I can say for civilization, the biggest strategy is to expand as fast as you possibly can. Expansion should be the primary goal until there's no more space, at least on that continent or that island. And if there are other civilizations, do your best to sort of knock them out and continue expanding. And as that wave of expansion emanates away from your capital, because that's the city that's sort of started it. So this local region around Rome is going to become saturated, and then the wave is going to be on sort of all sides of, around Rome. And then these other cities like Carthage and these others will sort of supply the settlers to continue the expansion. And then what you do is that wave sort of emanates farther and farther out, that expansionist sort of boundary. What you do is, as cities get farther and farther from that wave, like Rome, I will still have a settler, but that settler or two will be irrigating the land, building roads, building bridges. If you end up having pollution, it will clean up pollution. And then I focus on developing that city and developing the science. So that's kind of my primary strategy: expansion, and as much as possible grow in isolation, because you can focus completely on building your cities and sort of developing your land and developing new scientific advances without having to worry so much about other civilizations contacting you and fighting with you. So that's why I like islands. And then, I can build ships around the island to sort of block myself in like a blockade. And then if others approach, then I just kill them in the water before they even get to the island. So that's my strategy that I prefer for Civilization, the original. Let me know, what strategies you might have, and take care.